The Wheler Conference is an important part of Cazenovia College and its mission to its students. And it's a tribute to the Wheler family who have had this now for 17 years. But this year the theme is conflict resolution, which is an important aspect of life. If everyone could do better at conflict resolution in their own individual lives, maybe the country and the world will be better off.
One takeaway from my morning panel discussion, we talked about how I pursued different opportunities at times, and so I was talking to students a lot about how, as a small campus, Cazenovia makes it easy for you to find people that are willing to help you achieve your goals. So if you can identify things that you want to do, you can find people that'll help you find the right path and the right way to make those things possible, even if they don't exist already. And that prepares you to overcome struggles later on when you're working in a job and not sure how to do something and you have to create a new pathway for it.
For me, I enjoyed the fact that I didn't have just education majors. I was talking to a bunch of different majors today, so I hope that the idea of conflict in more of a positive note was picked up, because I kind of focused more on conflict not always being a bad thing, something that you can learn from. And so I'm hoping that everybody who left today took that along with them. So for this morning, for the students that have asked questions, I've kind of had the same question asked to me over and over and over, and that is, what is my piece of advice to them as far as going out into the field? And for them, I just kept saying, get into the classrooms. And for me, it's kind of takes me back a little bit, and I need to kind of heed my own voice and put myself into situations where I can learn something even more than what I've already done.
What I'm hoping that students got from our presentation at the Wheler Conference is the idea that art is another voice for social change, another way to spark discussion that will point out different conflicts and lead to discussions about what the resolutions could possibly be. It doesn't have to be just the written word.
Well, right now we're engaged in a conversation actually about study abroad programs actually, and I think just as an important idea of expanding your worldview, expanding your mind, having new experiences, getting as a way to think outside the box, and I think so we're encouraging that, and the students are excited about it too.
One of the things that was neat to me to learn, I was able to ask several questions, but look at what areas of law enforcement that they wanted to be involved with. Met a young man who hopes to go into the state police, another young man that wants to go to Border Patrol, met, I believe, 3 students that wanted to get into the forensic psychology side of law enforcement, and another young lady that wanted to go to New York City Police Department, and this is probably the one I'm going to remember the most, because she wanted to do it because she wants to make a difference, wants to bring law enforcement officers back into a positive light and make a difference in her community.
I think during lunch just now it was really great. We were going around and talking about interests and where we're all from. And it's, one of the students mentioned that he was looking to do art and design and then go get a master's in industrial engineering so he could design cars, which I think was an entirely fascinating idea and something that you don't hear about too often. And a couple other students more are looking to use art and therapy to help people, and more on the education and the sports management. So again, it was a really great reminder of all of the vibrancy and the different things that students are able to learn and study here at Caz that will help them in many industries, regardless of where they choose to go. And for me personally, remembering that all of those skills that I still use every day, a lot of that started here.
They asked some very good questions, and I try to give them some real-time experience, and emphasize that don't just get any job over the summer. Get a job, internship, volunteer in their major. And it doesn't have to be for pay. Volunteer in your major looks better on a resume than a job at Dunkin' Donuts that does not apply to your major.
I think the Wheler Conference is a great opportunity for students to continue to expand their knowledge of political affairs, world affairs, as well as open, free discourse about it as well. It's a topic that can be taboo sometimes, that some people aren't willing to talk about. But the conference provides that stage where students can voice their opinions and ask people who have different viewpoints or different experience, different backgrounds on it.
So I feel like the Wheler Conference is probably one of the biggest events that goes on at Cazenovia College because it gives us an opportunity to not only talk to alumni that have gone here and succeeded in life, but also to give us a chance to meet new people and to see what career paths they've taken, even just going to Cazenovia. I mean, we meet people from all walks of life that have went here and gone on to do amazing things. Yeah, the panelists are amazing. I had coffee this morning with Emma, and she was the one that was working with women in India with sewing, and she was amazing. Just the insight that she had, the advice that she could give me, just like her personal connection to be able to like talk to students was amazing. It was so cool to talk to her.
I think one interesting thing, the Wheler Conference was started in 2001, right after the 9/11 tragedy, and it was sort of the impetus that started the conversation that Dr. Green had with my father. And the first few years revolved a lot more about the international tensions that were going on at following that disaster, and how the world had changed, similar to maybe the way the world changed when Pearl Harbor was bombed by the Japanese at the start of World War II. Everybody kind of knew that this was a big deal and things would be different going forward. Over time, it's evolved into whatever topic seems pertinent and appropriate and would be of interest for the students to discuss and have a little more in-depth understanding on.